What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do when mock draft mania runs wild on you? Oh, can you dig it? Let's talk some Texans. Let's do some mock drafts. 3 different mock drafts coming your way here in this video. If you're live, get in the comment section. If you're watching this after the fact, we still want to see you in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. If you're watching now, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel. You must be subscribed to chat during the live shows. And, of course, you don't want to miss anything that's super important, like the draft party a week from today. You don't want to miss it. The info's in the description down below. I've got 3, that's right, 3 different mock draft machines ready to fire up, ready to talk about the Texans. I've got the ESPN mock draft machine, which is brand spanking new this year. I've got the Pro Football Network mock draft machine. And I've got the Pro Football Focus mock draft machine. I've got 3 of them coming your way over the course of this video. We'll talk about the Texans. We'll see how the board may fall. And because having 3 different machines do it, we'll have 3 different sets of players to choose from. Here's the goal for the Houston Texans in the 2024 NFL Draft. You've got to find contributors for 2024 that hopefully are building blocks in 2025 and beyond. That's the goal in this draft. In this draft, you need to find people who can contribute in 2024. So players that maybe are key backups right away because of their skill level and maybe need to grow a little bit before they're a veteran. Players who have a defined role right away, maybe a pass rusher at the defensive tackle spot, a corner that can play right away if there's injuries to the cornerback room, safeties that can help you with depth because it's a shaky safety situation and can play on special teams. Have a role in 2024 and then be a player in 2025. That's what I'm hoping for from the 2024 NFL Draft with the Houston Texans and what they're putting together. So with that being said, let's not waste any time. Let's get our first mock draft simulator fired up. The comment section, happy to have you along for the ride for this one live. And if you're watching after the fact, the live chat replay will take you to the comment section as well as the comment down below on the video. We got it set up. We're going to be the Houston Texans. The first selection is 42. We'll go through the 6 rounds. Here, let's load up the draft and get it going. This is my first time using the ESPN mock draft simulator. So if this one stinks, we'll do 2 on the other one. All right. So here we go. There's the make the trade. They got the big board ready for us. Let's start the draft. Ooh, this thing's flying. Okay, so we've flown through the first 20 picks. This thing goes a lot faster than most of them. Let's take a quick gander. The Colts went with an offensive tackle, and so did the Jaguars. Well, when you got to stop Danielle Hunter and you've got to stop Will Anderson for the next couple of years, I would do that. I don't believe the Houston Texans will make a trade. It would cost almost all of your 2024 assets and maybe even a dip into 2025 to go make a trade. But hopefully the ESPN mock draft simulator has a really fun player drop to us. It's not going to be Byron Murphy. He just went. The draft continues. Man, this thing goes really fast. Okay, here are the Houston Texans on the clock with pick 42, their first of 9 selections. And this is where the ESPN big board has us. Xavier Legette from South Carolina and Keon Coleman are the top 2 players. I know a lot of people are fans of Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker from Texas A&M. I feel like he sort of replicates what Christian Harris brings to the table, and I don't know that you can play him and put him on the field a bunch right away. Kingsley from BYU here. I'm not even going to try the last name. Sumataya. Yeah, Suamataia. Kingsley Suamataia would be a backup, but with the offensive line injuries, do you think about him? Jonathan Brooks is the top running back in a lot of people's opinions. Chris Jenkins and Tavondre Sweat are probably misranked this high in the equation. So is my guy Cedric Gray. He's a solid player. I don't know that he's this high on the list. Let's keep looking for what we might want here from this pick. You're thinking defensive tackle, you're thinking cornerback, you're thinking safety. And remember, you're back on the clock here in just another few picks. So you don't have to reach for somebody if you think they're going to end up being there at 59. Cam Hart's a fun player to think about. Jim Davies with the super chat. He wants to know, he's got a question. Mr. Cody Kuiper Jr., what are your thoughts, please, on Max Melton, the cornerback out of Rutgers? He should be a late second or third rounder. Let me tell you what, Max Melton at 42 is probably not a bad selection. I think he already came off the board based on what I'm looking at here. Let's take a look and see what already happened here. Yeah, Max Melton already came off the board, so he would have been a fun selection in this mock draft. We'll keep an eye out for him in future ones. I like what Melton brings to the table. I also think a lot about the fact that Nick Caserio was in New England when it seemed like every single year Bill Belichick drafted a cornerback or a safety or some sort of defensive back out of Rutgers. And here we are with Max Melton out of Rutgers. He went a little bit higher than we expected. I'm leaning towards corner. TJ Tampa is a fun name for this team. I was talking to my buddy Mike Lachine the other night about him. He likes Tampa because he's a longer corner. He likes guys who are have longer arms at the cornerback spot, and Tampa maybe a little bit slower than you would want from the cornerback spot, but certainly is a player that you could think about here. Wonder what's available to us at safety. Javon Bullard at Georgia. I don't think the Senior Bowl was as fun as it needed to be for him, but appreciate the super chat there, by the way, Jim. I thank you. I like Max Melton a lot, and honestly, if he was on the board, I'd take him. I would take him. So Katie says Cam Hart 89 or later, 6'3". Yeah, he's a long, tall guy. Is Sandra Strill still available? Sandra Strill, Scott's coming around on the idea. Man, that's a slot cornerback if you're taking him. He's still available right there. I wonder if we could get him a little bit later. I like the idea of a safety, and here's why I like the idea of a safety. Jimmy Ward is older, had injuries last year and on the last year of his contract. Jalen Petrie, disappointing last year. He's in a contract situation where if he plays poorly, you move on from him. And then you look at Eric Murray and MJ Stewart, they're fine backup players. So this guy's a draft crush of mine. I feel like he's a day one guy that you could put on the field if he plays well enough to put him on the field. And I like what he brings to the table to be a special teams demon right away. I'm going with Tyler Nubin from Minnesota. We got 3 drafts, so we'll have some fun here. I like Nubin more than Bullard. I like him more than my guy Cole Bishop for what the Texans do. And I feel like DeMeco Ryans can extract something a little bit more out of Tyler Nubin. He's our pick there at 42, and the draft rolls on. We're right back on the clock here. Let's see what's available to the Houston Texans. So if we wanted to stick around and still go with safety, Javon Bullard, it seems like, would have been there. Doesn't seem like Tyler Nubin might have still been there, but who knows? Who knows how this draft simulator works. Mekhi Wingo, I talked to my buddy Mike Lachine from NFL Rough Draft the other day. He likes the idea of Wingo, but maybe a little bit later than this pick. So there's some safety options. There's some running back options. I got to find a big ugly here, okay? Unless there's a corner I'm dying to grab. I mean, Mike Sanderstrill, I know the chat was saying Sanderstrill a second ago. Do we go DB to start this thing and really load up? Here's my thing. We'll bring the draft simulator up in just a second here. Here's my thing about going DB. They've got Derek Stingley, Jeff Okudah, and CJ Henderson. That's your top 3 for 2 cornerback spots. You go to slot corner, they've got Desmond King, but they've also got Miles Bryant. And Bryant's a former Patriot. I don't think Patriots fans loved him, but he had some production there. So it's hard for me to go corner when they've got some options in the building, and I can't for sure say these corners are going to be ready day one to go out there and beat up their fellow corners and start over them. So I'm going to stay away from the corners and see if we can get somebody fun a little bit later on. So I'm going to stay away from the corners, and we're going to the big fellas. We're going to the big uglies. We're going to the defensive tackles. Let's see what is available to us Is our guy Michael Hall Jr. there? He is. Brandon Dorlus is there as well. So those are the two names that I'm looking at right away from a defensive tackle perspective, is Hall Jr. from Ohio State and Dorlus from Oregon. A couple of Senior Bowl guys. I believe Dorlus went to the Senior Bowl. I have to double check that. Hall is a lot higher, just a tiny bit higher thought of, probably a round better than Dorlus on a lot of people's eyes. I think I'm going with Mike Hall here. You get a big guy. He's not the biggest individual in the world, but he does find himself with an opportunity to rush the passer and get after it. And on those Ohio State teams, you had to be tough and you had to be nasty along the defensive line. Come on down, Michael Hall. You're the newest Ohio State Buckeye to put on a Texans jersey. So we got a safety and we got a big fella, so we can really go with whatever we want with this third-round pick. If we want to get a linebacker that can help, like Ced Gray, my buddy Ced Gray, I like Ced Gray a lot. If we want to get him, we can go that way. We want to go and take a swing on an edge rusher to add another body to the equation. We want to go get a tight end like Cade Stover. If you want to get a backup offensive lineman, like I think if you addressed needs, okay, if you address needs in those first two picks, you can do a lot of fun, different things with that third-round pick, Scott Davis. Don't forget Tyron Tracy late, the Purdue wide receiver turned running back. I love that, Scott. I love that. Thank you for the super chat. We'll make sure we keep our eye on Tyrone Tracy, the Iowa wide receiver turned Purdue running back, who is quite dynamic and a fun prospect to think about. Good stuff, Scott. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, what are we doing here? What is there a wide receiver that I'm in love with here? No, God, no, there's not. All the wide receivers that I might like are gone. None of these guys are actually in this rank, according to most people. So I'm staying away from wide receiver. Let's take a look at the running backs. Let's take a look at the ball carriers here. Man, there's going to be options for me. So I'm staying away from that. Let's go back to the big board here. Let's just take a look. Just if something jump off the page to us. And I like Ced Gray. I just don't know if he's a third-round guy. It seems like we could have waited on Dorlus. We're not going to go DT back-to-back. Let's see here. Oh, running back is 86, a great idea. Or Stover. It's tough for me to pass up Cade Stover here. Teeman, what do you want here? You're going to pop in here. You're going to talk draft with us for a second. What do you want? We're looking at this board here. What sounds good to you?
What pick are we at right now?
We're at the third round pick. We're at 86 overall. We've already drafted a safety and a defensive tackle. I'm having a hard time not picking Cade Stover right here.
Ooh, I don't know. Tight end in the third round. Not a big fan.
Here's my thought process. Stover played linebacker before he played before he played tight end. And while he was playing tight end, they started him at linebacker in the Rose Bowl. So he has an immediate role on special teams. He's a better pass catcher than Tegan Quintiriano. He's tough as nails. He's a willing blocker. I don't love some of the players here. Like, I'm not taking a tackle, right?
No. What are the corners that are available right now?
All right, so we're gonna go back to the cornerback spot. It's ugly. It's really ugly.
Yeah. Ooh.
I mean,
Tyree Jackson's the best one.
So a lot of people like Renardo Green. I think the draft and scout community is a little bit lower on him than most. But I could certainly see if you wanted to go corner here, you go defense. But I'm having a hard time not going Stover here, Teeman.
What are the linebackers? Is there like a Colson available or a Peyton? Cedric Gray
Peyton Wilson's gone. Ced Gray's our top guy. Trotter Jr. probably a little early for him. Trevin Wallace is a fun one. Highly touted prospect, but super athletic. But I think we could get Trevin Wallace later. I mean, the board, the way ESPN has it set up, says Ced Gray's a steal here. Ced Gray's not a steal at 86. I don't like any of these other tight ends enough, probably, from what you need out of the spot. Like, I mean, I could go tip Riemann a little bit later, but I like Stover, and CJ likes Stover, and it's a weapon. And, Brevin Jordan's had some injury issues, and, Schultz, Schultz is your main guy, but you may need another one. Talk me out of Stover. You got 10 seconds here, Tiemann.
I would go Stover.
Okay. All right. Well, this pick goes in. We're going to go with Cade Stover. We're getting our first offensive player of this thing here. What do you got for me? Fire away. What are you thinking on these mock drafts here? What are you usually trying to accomplish with the Texans when you're doing a mock draft?
Usually,
are you leaning safety, defensive tackle, corner early?
I like defensive tackle and corner in the second round in either order.
Yeah.
Whatever's best available at 42. So if there's a better D tackle than corner available at 42, then pick that and vice versa. But I think those are our two biggest needs on defense right now is defensive tackle and corner. Because, I mean, other than Derek Stingley, we don't have like a surefire corner. And even then, Derek Stingley is injury prone, right? Like, we don't know if we can depend on him to play 17 games. And I don't know about you, but Jeff Okudah and CJ Henderson as your two cornerbacks scares me, especially with some of the competition we're going to be playing.
Sure.
So maybe, no, I do like to go D tackle and then corner, or corner and D tackle. And then third round, I usually see how the board shakes out. So if there's like a good linebacker there, like maybe like Junior Colson fell, I'd go with him. Or sometimes I'll go running back, but it really it's tough this time around because we don't have huge, like a glaring need where it's like we need this like we have had in previous years.
Tiemann, I appreciate you jumping in, man. I'm going to keep this moving, keep it rolling. And thank you for your help on Cade Stover, because I think we came to a good decision on that.
Yeah, you're welcome, Stoots, anytime.
Good stuff from Tiemann. And I remembered how to say his name right this time too. Okay, 123. Board tells me Curtis Jacobs. Don't love that. Okay. Don't love drafting a for sure backup player right away. Jacobs could turn into a fun player. But don't love drafting a guy that is a for sure backup right here. So let's stay out of the linebackers. Man, they love the linebackers. Oh, I'm in the linebacker setup. Is there a guard or a center that I like here? Ooh, the two-way guy from Georgia is a fun name. Is it two? When can I? So Ted asks, at what point do we get our running back? What running backs are left? Zach Zinter is a question. Now he's gone. He's gone. All right, let's take a look at the running backs here. Ray Davis, Bucky Irving, Isaac Guerrero, Will Shipley, Tyrone Tracy. Like, I wonder if I could wait one more pick before I get a running back. Wonder if I could wait one more pick before I get a running back. I mean, I don't want to wait and lose out on a guy that I really like, but I've got options here. If I'm approaching this like Nick Caserio, I've got a tab of guys. I can wait on running back. Why is Renardo Green so poorly thought of amongst the draft community? I'm going to wait on running back. I'm going to do a quick little read up here on my guy Renardo Green from Florida State. Okay, pretty fast, not the longest arms in the world. He's a polarizing prospect amongst NFL teams, says Dane Brugler, because he doesn't have desired size, speed, or ball tracking skills and won't be a fit for every scheme. But his personality and ability to find his balance mid-coverage helps him stay connected and will give him a chance to earn a meaningful role in an NFL secondary. A fourth-round projection from Dane Brugler. Can we go Renardo Green and then a running back? Let's just take a look at the ends here, just in case. Okay, nobody that's knocking my socks off here. Big fellas, again, nobody not. Oh, there's a big fella. I mean, that's a lot of investment at defensive tackle. Scott says Leonard Taylor from Miami. That's a lot at defensive tackle. I don't know if we want to do that. I don't know if we want to do that. Is there an offensive tackle that I like here? Not really. Not really. I think we're going corner, and I think we're going I think we're going to go Renardo Green here. Renardo Green, let him grow into it, and then let's go get a running back here. Let's go get a running back. Chat, Ray Davis or Isaac Garindo? Potential with Garindo. Fast. Hasn't played a lot. Career backup. Okay? Or Ray Davis, the offensive weapon of choice for the Kentucky Wildcats last year. The offensive weapon of choice for the Kentucky Wildcats last year. I mean, over 700 carries, caught the ball really well. We like Isaac Garindo's. The potential guy ran his hair off at the combine. Has been a career backup his entire time. Okay? Been a career backup. But that speed, that P word potential is tantalizing. I mean, the guy rips off a 4.33 40. You know, do we get a little we get a little risky here? We got a lot of Ray Davis. Ray Davis is old. Yes, he's going to be 25 years old this year. He'll be 25 this year. He's got over 700 carries on it. This is a great time to pick up here. It's a great time to pick up and see what the Texans have so far. In this draft, Tyler Nubin from Minnesota, Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State, defensive tackle, Cade Stover, Ohio State, tight end, Renardo Green, Florida State, cornerback. I think we got to go running back. And guys, I don't like him, but I understand why people like him. He's been a career backup, doesn't have a lot of tread on the tire, and there's a lot of potential here with a guy that can run a 4.33. Let's go with Garindo. All right, picks in. We're going Garindo. And the ESPN Mock Draft Simulator is thinking about how awesome our draft is. And it's having a hard time, figuring it out. Okay, at this point, 6th round, taking dart throws. There's our guy Ray Davis still there. Malik Mustafa would be a really fun player here as well. Nelson Caesar is a guy that would be fun. So we got dart throws. We've got back-to-back picks here in the 6th round. And again, we've gone defense and offense here. Potential at running back. You've got Stover here to help out with the blocking and the pass catching at tight end. Nubin, Hall, and Green as guys that can be backups and kind of ramp up into this thing. Let's take an offensive lineman. Let's see if there's one of these big uglies hanging around. Caden Wallace from Penn State. Let's take a look at where Caden Wallace stacks up in the offensive tackles ranking for Dane Brugler. He has him ranked as a 4th-round pick. Let's see what Brugler has to say about Caden Wallace, the offensive tackle from Penn State. He needs to continue to develop his consistency, but he's a smooth athlete with a wide base, punch-ready hands, improved physicality to finish. It wouldn't be a surprise to see him starting as an NFL rookie at right tackle or potentially inside at guard. I mean, honestly, folks, sounds good to me. Let's go with Caden Wallace. He's probably not supposed to be here, but the draft machine is going to let us take Caden Wallace. We took an offensive tackle late. Let's just see what the top players on the board are. Cedric Johnson from Ole Miss. He's a fun player. A couple of different tight ends. No, thank you. Do we add another safety to the equation? I like Malik Mustafa. How about the Houston kid? How about Nelson Caesar? Any UH fans in here to talk a little bit about Nelson Caesar? I mean, he was pumped when I asked about the potential to be, the defensive Tank Dell when I talked to him at the scouting combine. Let's see what the book here is on Caesar. Slowed down by power-based blockers, but shows a variety of pass rush in the NFL. Teams should be encouraged by his athletic flashes and football character. He projects as a part-time pass rusher with promise. Okay. Is there a wide receiver that's worth swinging at here? Not the most fun wide receiver situation. Jaquan Jackson's interesting. Is Lauby still in there? It's my guy Cody Schrader real late. Lauby's still available if we wanted to go with a running back who can catch the ball really well. We already drafted Garindo. Is there another corner hanging around here? Jarvis Brownlee is not supposed to be here. Jarvis Brownlee is a fun player. At cornerback, played pretty well at the Senior Bowl, had some nice moments. I mean, he's a fifth-year senior. He's supposed to be a mid-round pick. Let's go Jarvis Brownlee here, folks. Let's go Jarvis Brownlee. And then in this scenario, we still have 2 7th-rounders. We're not going to do the 7th-round picks. The ESPN mock draft is in the books. This is the Houston Texans draft for the ESPN mock draft. Tyler Nubin, and they project him to be 92% available and 58% available at the next pick, which this is a fun little addition to the ESPN mock draft. Michael Hall, we got him at the right time. They don't really feel like he's going to be available past 59. Cade Stover, chance he's available high, chance he's available at the next pick, a little bit low. They don't like the Renardo Green, and they don't like the Garindo. Really, they don't like any of these picks. But so immediate backup safety, special teams demon, defensive tackle rotation, third tight end, cornerback depth, running back depth, tackle depth, and cornerback depth. What do we think of the ESPN mock draft? Throw me a draft grade in the comment section. I'm sorry, Scott, we didn't get Tyrone Tracy. I apologize. Throw me a draft grade. Let's see what the Colts did. Fatanu, Leggett, Burton, Simpson, Eichenberg. It's fine. Jaguars. This draft sucks. Okay. We kind of want this to happen because the Jaguars draft is terrible. We got an A, got a B+, got a B+, got a B-, got a B+, got a B+. John grading me hard, C-. Jim with a B. Ted says, didn't like the Stover pick. Everything else seemed okay. All right, that's fair. That's the ESPN mock draft simulator. We'll come back to the results here at the end. Let's fire up the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator. 6 rounds. Pro Football Network mock draft simulator. Let's go and get the draft going. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Malik Neighbors, Roma Dunze, Marvin Harrison Jr. are your first 5 picks. If that happens, fire everybody that didn't get Marvin Harrison Jr. All right, so let's try to get a really fun corner. Or just a player that we cannot pass up that level of potential. Chop Robinson comes off the board. Xavier Worthy comes off the board. Oh, here's the wide receiver run. 3 in a row there. There goes Tyler Nubin. Cooper Beebe's a guard that I'd consider taking. All right, the Jets want to trade up for the Texans pick. You're moving back 30 picks from this one? Yeah, no thanks. No thanks, Jets. All right, the Giants want to come up, and looking at this, guys, we can't pass up who's on the board. Mo City Mitch, A.D. Mitchell is the potential if he hits his ceiling. The potential if he hits his ceiling is that he's as good as the top 3 guys. Yes, this did hurt me, Russell. Darius Robinson going right before us. The Packers have done that in literally every mock draft that I've done. Mitchell is too good to pass up. I know that they have Stephon Diggs and they've got Tank Dell and Nico Collins and Noah Brown and John Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson, but Mo City Mitch, AD Mitchell, you cannot pass this up. We gotta run the draft card in. We gotta run the draft card in before somebody makes us a Godfather offer that we can't refuse. Mo City Mitch at 42. I mean, this guy has top end potential. Send it in and let's go. Okay, I'm going to pause it here. Rook Arowaro is a fun player. Michael Hall is still available. There's some safeties available. There's some corners available. There's a lot available. We don't need to trade. Let's keep going. A lot available. We don't need to trade. Buffalo wants to trade up one pick, and we're going to pick up a future fifth rounder or future fourth rounder. Excuse me. Yeah, the run it up for AD. AD too good to pass on. Man, if he falls to the Houston Texans, those cornerbacks are going to get worked. Those cornerbacks are going to get worked. So the Bills want to move up one. They're giving us a future fourth. The Bears want to move up. They're giving us a future third. Yeah, no thanks. We're going to reject that one. I mean, one pick for a fourth? Give it to me. Oh, they took the defensive end from Penn State. A future third to move back 16 spots. No, there's too much the Texans want to accomplish on defense with this pick. So I'm going to reject that one. I'm going to reject that one as well. Rook Arowaro is the guy that I'm looking at now. Scott wants me to talk about Cam Kinchins. Interception monster, okay? Interception monster. Lot of worries about did he impact enough early on when games were in hand, or did he clean up when games were out of hand? I think that's been one of the conversations that I've seen about him. He's projected probably later than the 60th overall pick. Didn't test through the roof. So safeties, I'm okay with you being a little bit slower. But he doesn't have a lot of big-time athletic stuff. But he can make plays. Playmaker from the safety spot, I think, is what you're thinking about. And could he help you on special teams and then kind of grow into being a starter for this team? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I don't like him in the second round, though. I think you got to draft Kinchins in the third round if you're going to draft him. So I don't think he's good value in the second round. Scott, I appreciate the super chat, man. You're very generous. Thank you. Thank you. I don't like him in the second round. We're probably not going to pick him here. Rook Arowaro is pretty hard to pass up. He's freaky athlete. After the combine, people got pretty excited about him and thought maybe, he could end up as a late first rounder. Played a lot of ball, much bigger guy than Michael Hall Jr. And he's got to get better at rushing the passer. But he's a fun player. It's going to be hard to say no to this, but let's keep looking. Obviously, we had Mike Hall Jr. in the other one. Kinchins is a little early for him. They met with Bo Braid at the Combine, which was a fun one. Already drafted a wide receiver, so don't need a wide receiver. Junior Colson at linebacker would be kind of interesting. So would Marshawn Nealon. The Texans, I believe Aaron Wilson reported they had a visit with him. Defensive end from Western Michigan. Of course, you guys know how I feel about Cole Bishop if you've watched any videos. Is there a corner? Is there a corner that I'm not seeing here? Eesh. This is the PFN simulator has Sandra much later. If Sandra there in the third, we're going with him. Linebacker, did my guy Sed already come off? So Sed came off before Peyton Wilson. That's a little questionable. Trevin Wallace is a starter kit for great value Fred Warner. Dorless is listed as an edge. He's probably actually a tackle. I think it's tough for me to not go with Rook Arowaro here. Bigger, he doesn't have to play right away. You get him in there, let him develop some of the pass rush abilities. Let's go with Rook Arowaro. So the Texans in this mock draft have had 2 incredible players slip to them. 2 incredible players. Joneso asks about Mason Smith. There's a lot of potential with Mason Smith. He has some top end potential that is really scary if it develops. He has some like fall apart and not be useful potential as well, unfortunately. Okay, Green Bay wants to jump 2 picks, and they're going to give us 169, and we get rid of a 7th rounder. What's the other trade? Oh, the Colts are going to give us a future 4th? We like either of these trades. You're moving back a little bit further with the Colts, but they're giving some better ones. Yeah, Scott says Smith's not even the best DT from LSU. Yeah, Wingo's fun, man. Wingo's fun. Do we want to take either of these trades? You like the Green Bay one? Getting 169? That moves us up a little bit from those 6 rounders. Yeah, we only drop back 2 spots. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do a little Hey, how about that? All right, I will never trade with the Titans. Reject. Bye. I'm never helping Tennessee. Okay. Here, I'm going to make the argument for Trevin Wallace here. Okay? I'm going to make the argument for Trevin Wallace. I know there's some fun defensive tackles. I mean, there's some fun defensive linemen. There's a safety there. Our guy Sanderstrill's off the board. DJ James would be fun. He's a little bit smaller, though. Both these safeties would be fun. I'm going to make the argument for Trevin Wallace here. Let me see what you think here about Trevin Wallace. If I told you the Texans are drafting the player who is most likely to turn into Fred Warner in this draft, like in his range of outcomes, the potential is Fred Warner. If I'm telling you they're going to draft the player who is most likely to turn into Fred Warner, would you want that player? Star defensive standout for the San Francisco 49ers. Would you want that player? If his top end outcome is Fred Warner because he's a freak athlete and he's tough as nails and he can cover right away, would you want that? I'm out on Sweat in the 3rd round. Yeah, I'm out on Sweat. That player's not Edgerrin Cooper. It's not. That player is Trevin Wallace. He is an athletic freak. I mean, he can do it all. The top end potential is like if he hit his best case scenario, he's Fred Warner 2.0. Now, obviously, that's the best case scenario. That's what I'm telling you. I think it's really hard for me to not take Trevin Wallace right here. He's the top player according to Pro Football Network. He's the 86th overall player on Dane Brugler's top 100. He's got a lot of success at Kentucky in the SEC against some big-time players. I think I'm taking Trevin Wallace. It's too hard for me to pass up. Trevin Wallace. And then there's lots of ways we can go in the 4th round. We can go get a running back. We can go get a defensive end. We can go get a tackle or a guard if we want. There's a lot of different ways we can go with those 4th round picks. And we picked up 169. So we've got a little bit of, stuff if we want to play around here. All right, let's pause. Just pause for a second. Is there anybody sitting here that we have to go and get? Who does the team have so far? It's a good question. Adonai Mitchell from Texas fell to us. I mean, just absolutely incredible. Ruka Rororo from Clemson, potential-based defensive tackle. And then we added Trevin Wallace, one of the freak linebackers in this class. So the draft's paused right now. I like Andrew Phillips. Okay, I like Andrew Phillips from Kentucky. A year ago, Kalen King was a first-round pick in most people's eyes. He didn't have a good year. There's a lot of running backs, man. What do we have from the defensive standpoint? I am worried about missing out on one of the corners or one of the safeties here. Tyke Smith hanging around would be good. I would really like to get one of these corners. Ooh, Cam Hart still being available. I'm going to let it sit. I'm going to let the draft keep going. And then, of course, there goes Drew Phillips. That would have been the guy that I would have picked. Jalix Hunt is a fun player, too. There goes Kalen King. Okay, so we're here. Guys, I'm telling you, the Texans have talked to this guy at the Senior Bowl. The Texans talked to him at the Combine. He's tall, long. Cam Hart's an excellent pick here. Cam Hart's an excellent pick. They've got to add to the cornerback room. I'm drafting Cam Hart. He has consistently annoying potential with where he is as a player. If Jalen Wright had fallen to 127, that's a smash. Okay. Here we are at 127. The Texans have gotten a stud wide receiver fall to them. They had a big-time defensive tackle prospect fall to them. Trevin Wallace is a little bit of a luxury pick for me. And then Cam Hart to address cornerback depth. What are we doing here with 127? Remember, we've got a bonus pick that we picked up here, and we also added a fourth next year. We're thinking running back? Who's available? I mean, guys, what about Corum? Tight end, Theo Johnson, Jared Wiley. Can I tell you a little bit about Tanner McLaughlin here? This is tight end 2 for Daniel Jeremiah. Out of Arizona, super athlete, probably needs to learn to block better than he does currently. Man, Blake Corum still being available is like, I can't get this out of my brain here. Like, I cannot get this out of my brain. Braylon Allen's not available to us. He went already. I cannot get Blake Corum out of my brain here. And as a guy that can help you with some short yardage stuff, I mean, I think I got to go Corum. He's great value at 127. All right, we're going Corum. So this is what the Texans have gotten: a wide receiver, a tackle, a linebacker, a cornerback, and a running back. Let's see what's available here. Coleman would be fun. All right. I'm doing something that is probably going to surprise some people. I think Bo Limmer would be a home run here. I think Bo Limmer would be a home run here. Oh, somebody has a good question about Corum. Is Corum too much like Dameon Pierce? No. Corum's ability to make quick decisions is like the opposite of Dameon Pierce. Like he finds holes that are not there. And I think we stole Corum from everybody. Like at 127 where we got him, we stole Corum. Do we want to use any of our extra capital here to go and get a center? No? Okay. Probably not. Let's see, is there anybody that I'm just dying to have here? Stover's still there. Let's take a look here what the tight end situation is. Now Stover's gone. There's not a tackle that's, you read about or anything. Zenter would be fun. Let's see what the safety situation is. Not the most fun safety situation. Texans talked to Mark Perry. Had him in for I believe a visit. Tyler Owens is an athletic freak. Let's just let it play out here. Let's let the draft keep going and see what comes to us here. If Limmer drops, though, that's the pick. I'm telling you guys right now. There goes Limmer, so that's not the pick. If Zinter, there goes Zimmer, it's not the pick. You keep going and going and going. There goes Garindo to the Eagles. What a sweet pick by them. Tip Riemann would have been fun. Damn it, Tip Riemann would have been fun. Damn. All right, so the Texans are back on the board here. This is our bonus pick that we picked up in a little move around with the in the little move around that we had with the Packers. What are we looking for here? We're looking for corner, safety, tight end, tackle. You could do a lot of different things here. Still got two other picks. Eric All from Iowa. Anybody interested in him, the tight end? Drafted a linebacker, so don't need Eichenberg. Oh, guys, here we go. I feel like Dak Prescott. Christian Jones from Texas. Backup offensive tackle. The backup tackle situation here is dire. I mean, Charlie Heck would be the backup tackle if they played a game tomorrow. Jones is a third round. I would think Jones is like a third round talent, fourth round talent. Here we are in the fifth round. He's still hanging out. Hunter Norzad is another one, the center. I would tell you the big fella Jones did okay at the Senior Bowl. Man, I like him a lot. We're gonna go with the tackle. We're gonna go with the big fella here. Get that depth piece and keep it moving. All right, top of the sixth round here. Jarvis Brownlee would have been a nice one. There goes Gabe Hall. There goes All. Whittington's a fun guy. There goes my guy McLaughlin and Muhammad Kamara, another guy the Texans have talked to. Man, a couple of really fun players came off the board right there in front of us. Bam, bam, bam. Two selections in a row here. Let's see what we can do with the Texans. What do we want here? These are the picks we've made. I mean, we stole Adonai Mitchell from the entire NFL at 42. Ruka Rororo at defensive tackle. Trevin Wallace at linebacker. Cam Hart at corner. Blake Corum at running back, and we got a backup offensive tackle. Need some safety help. You're absolutely right about this. Need some, not special teams, Cody. Need some safety help. Trey Taylor's name popped up the other day. On social media. People were saying he's going to get drafted, like, for sure. Man, a lot of the safety stuff is. Here's what I'm going to do. This is a very, we're taking Mark Perry because they've met with Mark Perry and they talked to him. I know they're somewhat interested. Unless there's something that I just can't pass up. Masu and Barner. Barner, the Michigan tight end. Is that who you're thinking about? He's probably not going this high. He's probably going lower. Dallin Holker would be a fun tight end. Spanford, Barner, Vikai, Logan Lee. Yeah, so yeah, the back-to-back picks, you don't have to choose. You can get to two guys. You know what? Let's do this here. Got to get a safety. Got to bring a guy in there. Let's do Mark Perry. Let's do Mark Perry from TCU. Get the safety. Let's take a look at the tight ends. Dallin Holker's a fun name, probably a bit more of a receiver than a blocker, but he's kind of like that sort of. He took over a game against Colorado earlier this year for Colorado State. He just took over a game. But he's not that fun of a player. Like Barner's probably a better player. Like Barner can replace Tegan Quintiriano if we go that route. I don't want to go Holker because he's just too catching. Too much catching, not enough blocking. What do we have here? What a name. Can we steal is there anything here from an edge standpoint that's pretty fun? Let's take a look at the edge rankings and see if there's somebody that's, hanging around. This one's a lot more accurate to big boards than I've seen. Let's see here. Who are some of these names? Miles Cole's a 6th, 7th round guy. Brennan Jackson, according to Dane Brugler's a 5th round guy. Let's see what Brennan Jackson's bringing to the table here. Let's take a look at his profile from Brugler. Just throw a defensive end around there. Body tightness and lack of balance will follow him to the NFL, but so will his urgent attacking skills and relentless motor. He projects as a rotational edge defender for a scheme that can turn him loose. Sounds good to me, right? Yeah, you're thinking of Baylor Culp, the Texas Tech kid. Cup, excuse me. I'm going with this Brennan Jackson kid. Relentless motor, grab me an edge late in the draft. Go with Brennan Jackson. All right, so we got some who knows picks there in the 6th round. Honestly, probably what I should have done was use those 6th rounders to move around. That's what I should have done. But, it's the draft. That's what Casario is going to do on draft day. Let's get to the end of the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator. Then we'll fire through the Pro Football Focus one and call it a day with mock draft mania. Mock draft mania, baby. All right, what do we think here? We killed this draft in these first 5 picks, 6 picks. And we got a Buffalo 4th rounder next year. Like, come on. Couple of 4th rounders next year. Got a couple of immediate depth guys. Give me the grades here. Give me the grades. Jim Davies says A-. Getting this guy, getting Adonai Mitchell at 42, I don't know how you got to start with an A. Ted likes this draft better than the last one. Yeah, I do too. Okay. We'll leave this up. We'll come back to it. A+. Yeah, that one's a good one. It's a good one. Let's go for the Pro Football Focus one. We'll go 6 rounds and get this thing going. Start this draft. Let's go. Gridiron Takeover gave me a C. We cutting woods with AD? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, it's the end of the first day. What's available here? Our fun names are gone here. So day 2, let's get it fired up here. Day 2, let's get it fired up. Resume the draft. Byron Murphy, that would have been great. I didn't know he was still available, to be honest with you. All right, here we are. 42 on the clock. Take a look at what is available. Zach Frazier's most people's number 1 center And if he's not the number one center, then he is the number 2 center in most people's eyes. Who wants to trade with us? The Vikings? Their next pick's 108. We can't do that. It's too far back. Too far back. Going to be tough to not go with Newbin here again. I like Braden Fisk. I feel like Scott says, what's the trade offer? It's Minnesota. It's too far back. 108's their first pick. So I'm not doing that. Braden Fisk can play right away. I'm having a hard time not picking him here. But let's keep going. Jatavian Sanders can't block. You need someone that's going to block. I like the wide receivers that are available. TJ Tampa's a fun corner, but I got to go with Fisk here. I think he can play right away in the defensive tackle rotation, and I can't pass up the freaky guy. The freaky guy. D'Amico would love him. Let's go Braden Fisk. The draft rolls on. Keon Coleman, Xavier Legette, Ricky Pearsall come off the board. There goes TJ Tampa. That would have been fun. All right, so something fun happened here. Look at this. Look at this run here. Center, tackle, quarterback. And then, mid-range wide receiver. Like bam, 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 bam. 5 players that like the Texans don't take. So it pushes some fun players down the board. Jenkins would have been fun, though. He's not his dad. He's much smaller than his dad. Hicks and Bullard being here is nutso. Hicks is not as D'Amico Ryans as Bullard is. Hicks freelances too much. I like Bullard a lot more. It's going to be hard not to take Bullard here. Let's see what the trade is. Next pick 70. That's too far. Next pick 74. Next pick's 120. No, thank you for all those. It's going to be hard not to take Bullard because he plays team defense so much better than Jaden Hicks does. Drew Phillips is fun. There's some defensive line guys, but we already took a tackle. Yeah. Let's go Javon Bullard here. I mean, it's tough. It's team defense versus higher end, top end talent. Jaden Hicks has the Jalen Petrie mold where he kind of makes it up as he goes along and makes some plays, but also makes some mistakes. Bullard's going to fit in well. D'Amico Ryan's going to love this guy. They've talked to him a couple times, brought him in for a visit. Let's go Javon Bullard. So Fisk and Bullard. This is shaping up to be the most realistic version of the mock draft. Let's see what pops up here. There goes Hicks, Ororo. There goes Junior Colson coming off the board. Stinks. That stinks. Colson would have been my immediate selection if he was there. A couple of wideouts and quarterbacks, halfbacks come off. 86. Let's take a look here. Man, a lot of backs here. Back. Jalix Hunt at defensive end. Man, what are we doing? Cooper Beebe, if you wanted to go with an offensive lineman, I don't. Oof. Man, Tyrone Tracy, Cade Stover, but I wonder if you can get those guys. Let's see what the trade is. The Dolphins at 158. God, I can't do that. Also, why is wide receiver a need in the Pro Football Focus? I mean, I'm not saying it's you don't need to do it, but we can't do the trade with the Dolphins. Just too. Let's look and see what's available at corner. I mean, Hart and DJ James late. Those guys should be there in the next pick. Green is, he'd be our first repeat guy. We drafted a safety already. Get the corner out of there. Wide receiver, nobody that I can justify taking with this pick, so they're gone. A lot of running backs here. Jalix Hunt was pretty darn athletic. I mean, I don't know if you can justify an end this early. What are we doing here? Stover again? Or Senate? You know, man, this is tough. This is tough. I think I'm going to go Benson. He's a guy that's got a lot more top end to him than some of these other guys. He's the third running back on most people's boards, or the second running back on most people's boards. He played in let me see here. Let me see, make sure that the patiently allows his blocks to develop, doesn't keep his feet in one place very long. Yeah, the issues are, inconsistent vision and anticipation when designed run isn't there. Occasionally bounces and misses backside lanes. Again, you don't need him day one. He's got a chance to improve. I think I'm taking Benson. We get a little bit of a steal here from a value standpoint, and the thing rolls on here. DTD, we already drafted a safety, so it would have been tough to take another safety. There goes Stover. There goes Cooper Beebe. Gosh darn it. Goes Jeremiah Trotter. Goes Tyke Smith. There goes Tavondre Sweat. Golly, some really fun players came off the board there. Really fun players. Baltimore wants to come in. The Cardinals want to come in, and the Browns want to come in. I mean, can we get Baltimore's third next year for the 123? This trade will not be selected. Okay. Why won't it be selected? Can we give them both the thirds for their third next year? No. Okay. All right. So Baltimore's not that serious then. Baltimore is not that serious. What are we doing here? Bortolini. Oh, what we're doing here is drafting Cole Bishop, right? I mean, I know it's kind of a repeat position. Oh, man. They say interior line or defensive line. So in this, we've already drafted Braden Fisk, Javon Bullard, and Trey Benson. What are we doing here? People want to look at the corners. Yeah, let's look at cornerback. Oh, okay. DJ James, Cam Hart. I like DJ James a lot. A little bit of a smaller guy. Again, Senior Bowl guy. I can't remember if he talked to the Texans. He's a tiny bit better than I think some of these other guys that are on here. I know that Brugler likes him a little bit better than some of the guys that's on the board right now. Played in the SEC, so he's played against some big competition. Was previously at Oregon. Won't be a fit for every scheme because of his undersized build, but quick feet help him maintain phase and coverage. If he can handle big slots and improve his consistency as a tackler, he'll compete for a starting nickel role in the NFL. All right. Let's see here. I like Hart here now that we got our corner. Brownlee, Hart. I mean, look, I like Hart a lot. I like him because he can play outside. What did Brugler say about Hart? He doesn't like him as much as some of these other guys. Or does he like him more than some of these other guys? No. Man, what's his beef with Hart? I got to keep scrolling. Hart's traits are more intriguing than his tape, but his body length and linear twitch are attractive combination that helps him match up both size and speed. Versatility as a gunner jammer on punt coverages will boost his NFL chances. I think we got our pick here, right? double dip the running back room? I don't think so, my friends. I don't think so. What's on the O-line? Somebody wants to know what's on O-line. Bortolini. I think you got to go tackle, but I would wait on these guys. I think you got to go tackle. I'm going Hart here. I like Cam Hart a lot. They've talked to him a couple of different times. We can't go Bishop here because we already took a safety. I got to be honest with you. I don't know anything about Kalen Carson. Let me do a quick read up on him. I always feel better about those. Senior Bowl guys because I know the Texans like the Senior Bowl. Carson needs to prove he can stay healthy and be on the field for a full season. I'm out. Offers inside-outside versatility and eventual NFL starter. So a little bit of a project with some injury history. Missed 5 games, missed a game. All right, so I hadn't played a lot of football. 4.52, a little slow compared to some other guys. What are we doing here, folks? Somebody says go look at the tight ends. Don't threaten me with a good time. Theo? You like Theo? Let's go corner and then let's go tight end. Let's go corner and let's go tight end. Let's go to the cornerbacks. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the fastest guy at corner. So I'm going to pull up the cornerback rankings, and I'm going to take the fastest guy at corner. So Carson was a 4.52. Brownlee was a 4.51. Hart was a 4.5. And James was a 4.42. We're going to pick DJ James. He's fast. I like him. He's from Mobile, Alabama. And if he's on the team, he said his mom's going to make spaghetti because she makes spaghetti better than anybody in the world. And then at tight end, let's take the freak. Let's take the freaky guy. Let's take Theo Johnson. Let's take the freaky guy, Theo Johnson. All right, so Texans. Braden Fisk, Javon Bullard, Trey Benson, DJ James, and Theo Johnson. It's a pretty solid draft. And now we wait. And now we can do whatever we want with these picks. We can just throw them at the board and see what sticks. By the way, Trevin Wallace going to the 49ers shouldn't be allowed. That's a freaky level of investment. Packers want to come up? No thanks. All right, what are we doing here? Do we just take Garindo for the speed? You know, keeping 4 running backs is tough. They talked to Braid at the combine. Something there. Ooh, I really like Jalen Harrell. Probably a little small. But I really like Jalen Harrell from an edge standpoint. Tip Riemann, if we hadn't drafted a tight end, we could have taken him. Gabe Hall is an inside-outside guy. Got to develop a little bit. I mean, I think these picks are sent to, Bolivia by now. I don't think Casario's making these selections. What are we doing here? Grayson Murphy, an edge guy. I really like Jalen Harrell. He was violent with people at the Senior Bowl. Probably a little smaller than you would like from a pass rusher, but maybe you could find something with him. Projects as a 6th-round pick. Was pretty fast. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's checking in at 247. You know what? I'm kind of going to go off the reservation here. This guy is underrated in the Pro Football Focus system. Brugler says he's a 4th, 5th round guy. We're going Sed Johnson. All right, what are we doing here with the other pick? I'll let the draft pick him. Garindo for special teams. I mean, look, it's weird to draft 2 running backs. They don't have very many options, though. Garindo is flat out speed, man. Flat out speed. Can he catch the ball? I would tell you at this spot, if you're taking a guy, I would take Lauby instead of Garindo because I think Lauby has a established role right away. Somebody says, oh, line depth. Yeah, okay. Fine, be no fun. I mean, yeah. I like Lauby better than all these guys. I think they talked to this guy. I mean, none of this blows my socks off here. Screw it. Send it. Speed and potential, baby. Figure it out. Figure it out. Speed and potential, baby. Let's figure it out on the we'll figure out backup offensive lineman later. Oh, I earned an award. Get out of here. They're saying I screwed up. I should have taken Peyton Wilson instead of Braden Fisk here. Forget you. I got an F for Cedric Johnson. Okay. Whatever you say, Pro Football Focus. C+ on Garindo. C on Theo. C on DJ. B+, A-, B+. Overall, a B grade. Top 85% of Texans drafts. Okay. Fisk is a really good pick. I don't know why they're hating on this. Bullard's a fantastic selection. I mean, bam, bam. So rotational player right away, rotational player right away, rotational player right away, potential, rotational player right away, potential. Like, this is a good draft. Okay. What's everybody's favorite? Do we like this draft the most? It's the most realistic of the drafts. Do we like this draft the most? It's the least realistic of the draft. It's the one I like the most, for the record. Or do we like the ESPN draft? Newbin, Hall, Stover, Green, Garindo, Caden Wallace, and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Second draft was the most fun. Adonai Mitchell's incredible. This was the most fun and least realistic. This one, to me, is the most realistic draft. Third's the most realistic. Second is the best. I think Ted sums it up great. I think this is the right way to say it. Second's the best, but third's the most realistic. Here we go. That is Mock Draft Mania. What you gonna do, brother, when Mock Draft Mania runs wild on you? That is Mock Draft Mania. 3 mock drafts, 3 different versions of it, giving us a lot to talk about, but a bunch of different defensive prospects and some offensive guys and how they fit. And if they end up with A.D. Mitchell, freaking running around this place, freaking out. So it's going to be fun. Okay. Housekeeping notes on the live here. Thursday, Friday, live streams for round 1, 2, and 3 of the NFL draft. Thursday and Friday. The locker room with Landry Locker, I'll be on with him, and then he'll be on with me for the back half of round 1 and round 2, and then we're going to pop over to his channel for round 3. So we're going to have a lot of fun there. Live streams on Thursday and Friday. In person, want to see you there on Saturday next week. The link in the description has all the information. Daily Sports Club, you don't want to miss it. A week from today, we'll be probably wrapping it up about a week from today. So very excited about that. We're going to have a lot of people there. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun this draft season. I'm having a lot of fun with Houston football, where I do all my writing about the Texans. This is a blast. This is a blast. So this is where we are right here. So close to the draft. Uniforms come out Tuesday. More draft coverage. I got a 40-plus minute conversation tomorrow going up with my buddy Mike Lachine from NFL Rough Draft, one of the most accurate predictors of value in the draft. And I got a 40-minute conversation with Mike going up tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. We'll get timestamps on there so you can jump around to the various positions we talk about and things like that. But lots to get to, man. This has been fun. Mock Draft Mania live for everybody. I appreciate everybody jumping in. Thank you so much for popping in on the live. If you're watching this after the fact and you're still here, the video's almost over, but I appreciate you as well. We end every live the same way. It's my hope for you. It's my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good, sleep good, be good. And we'll talk Texans and the draft again soon. Thank you, everybody.